Are you a Matterport service provider with clients that are facilities managers? How do you enable Matterport for visual layers of a building management system, including live data, asset management, and timeline for ticket tracking? Would you like to receive a deep dive onboarding demo of Matterport plus SimLab Simon? Stay tuned.
This episode of WGAN TV is sponsored by SimLab Simon. Are you optimizing your IoT control and facility management? With SimLab Simon, powered by Matterport, you can centralize data, enhance visualization, and monitor systems in real time. Plus, improve source management, reduce costs, and streamline workflows, all while ensuring safety and compliance. And you can seamlessly integrate and scale across platforms, enabling smarter decision-making and enhanced collaboration. Manage facilities with SimLab Simon. Visit www.sim-on.com.
Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. You're watching WGAN TV, a podcast for digital twin creators shaping the future of real estate today. We have an awesome show for you. How to get started with Matterport plus SimLab Simon, a deep dive onboarding training demo. Our subject matter expert is SimLab Simon product owner and product manager, Michael Chopa. Michael, thanks for being back on the show.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dan, for the invitation and possibility to be again in the show in Vegan TV.
For today's show, we will assume that our viewers are already a pro with Matterport and have watched previous WGAN TV podcast shows about SimLab Simon. That's at wgan.info/SimLab on WGAN. Michael, can you show us an example of what we will have learned how to do with Matterport plus SimLab Simon by the end of the show?
No problem, Dan. Thank you very much. And I will share my screen and try to show you what is the result of the full project with our software. And first of all, we have the Matterport scan as a background of our software, and we can add it some couple of layers on top of that. As you see here, we are inside the office when I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting in this chair. I have the logo behind me. And we can create a digital twin and all facility management using the Matterport and the Simon solution. And as you see here, we have some couple of things like the IoT devices, when I can, from here, managing it, turning on and off, changing the positions, changing the parameters. I can check what is the temperature, what is the movement, some data from sensors, and so on. And as you see, when I'm going through the scan, the devices on the right hand are automatically changed and switched into some other devices, which is the nearest to my current location into the scan. And we have here some temperature sensor, the luxometer, the movement sensors, and that's one thing. The second thing is the asset management tool, which is the container for all data about our equipment we have stored in our space. For example, here we have some printer, and then for this printer, we have the information, we have some photographs, we have some movies, documents, and the events. But all of that, I will show you how to put inside and what is the steps to create such apartment. It's very easy, it's very fast. I think everybody can do that. And I hope after the show, you will know everything about that, and you can create the apartment of, for example, the project of your apartment, your home, whatever, or your office, maybe.
Excuse me, Michael, I
Yes.
see two overall themes. One is Simon IoT devices and Simon for assets, but I'm not sure that I saw the timeline and ticket tracking.
Yeah, there is the timeline. Fortunately for today, it's no no events, but that will be some in the demo in the next part. But we have the all events in the future. I can, for example, check for the aquarium, it's cleaning, but where it is, I can one click and I'm going through the scan to the place where the aquarium is right now. And the last thing is the tickets. The tickets is the communicator or the issue reporting tool that allows the user creating the tickets and send the ticket to some responsible person to, for example, fixing, as we have here the leaking AC with some information, with some chat communicator. All of that is possible from our software.
And
Of
so
course,
as you
yes?
show this to me today, I'm assuming while you're showing us the SimLab offices, perhaps the primary use case of SimLab Simon would be for a facilities manager running the MEP space, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So that may be the chiller and when the chiller needs to be serviced and et cetera.
Yeah, but not only. Our software can be used for everybody, because that can be the homeowner, for example, to steering their IoT devices. And also, in my personal experience, is that all my equipment in my house I had stored in some paperwork, with some warranty cards, invoices, and if something is broken, I need to go and check it and wasting the time to find the invoice and the warranty card to put it to the seller, for example. Here, when we have our software, the finding of some invoice or something like that, to, for example, the table, for example, it's one click and I have all information stored into the one place. And it's also visual. That means that if somebody have some language barriers or something like that, they can visual very easily find it and track it into the space.
Okay, so whether I'm a homeowner or a facilities manager running an MEP space, by the end of today's show, I will have learned how to manage IoT devices, manage assets, and also ticketing and timeline feature.
Yes. And first of all, you need to create the account into the our software. You need to go to the web page sim-on.com, and then that will be the sign-in button, and you need to create the account. After you create an account, you will get the dashboard like me, but of course, without any spaces. As you see, I have some spaces because of the demonstration, also other purposes, but you will have the two spaces, which is the demo spaces, like the Red House and Office Carolina. And these two spaces are in the demo. In the normal new user will be here appears. When you want to create your own space, you need to click on the bottom, the add new space. And then you're redirecting to the place where it's the need to be fulfilled some basic information. First is the space name, because you need to name it somehow. For example, that will be Vegan TV Training. Then it's possible to drag and drop some image if you want to have it. Right now I don't have any prepared, but it's possible to add it here. The optional thing is the street, the house number, apartment number, town, and region. I will skip it into the training. And then we have the zip code, which is obligatory. And the country, I'm in Poland, that I will put it Poland. And this one is required because of the weather forecast that we are connecting with the external services. And going next, in the next step, we have two paths to choose. First one is the Matterport. If you have the Matterport scan and you wanted to use it, it's okay, you can use it. But second one is the connecting from the stages. From the previous training done by my colleague, Robert, you, I think, know how to do the stages and how it works. And you, after you've done the last stage, you can import the all information, the nodes, the old data into the Simon into the one click, only connecting through the same account as you have created into the Simon, because it's very important that the creating the Simon account is also creating the Stages account and in opposite way, because there is into one SimLab cloud. In this case, I will choose the Matterport path and going next. And then we have another two options to choose. One is the importing rooms and one custom rooms. Why? Because if you have some IoT devices already configured in your space, you can import all the configuration from the IoT provider. Either if you don't have and you want to use the Simon as an asset container or the ticketing system communicator without IoT, because IoT is not required, you can use it without it. You can create the custom rooms like tap it, the room 1, room 2, or the saloon, bathroom, whatever, and then going next. We have it here, the IoT devices. That's why I will choose the import rooms. Going next, we have the 4 options, which kind of IoT devices we want to connect. Right now, we have integration with these 4, and very briefly and shortly, what it is. The Nice Smart Home is the former Fibaro company. Right now, it's the Italian big manufacturers, barriers, or some gate to garage and so on, and they buy the IoT devices from the Fibaro, and with their brand, it's selling like the Nice Smart Home, and this one we have installed in our office. But the other options is the SmartThings, former Samsung SmartThings, where right now it's the SmartThings as a brand itself, and also the Schneider Electric with KNX standard. KNX standard is the standardization of home automation and building management systems used mainly in Europe, but I think with some time will be also very popular in the States. And the last thing is the NetX. The NetX is the big building automation server that allows you to connect to multiple different IoT and building automation system protocols, like the Modbus, like the BACnet, like the MBus, and DALI Lightning, and so on. And also with some external software services, if, for example, you have the hotel or something like that, you can also connect through the NetX, the hotel management system, the reservation information, everything. It's very huge and big building automation system that is also allows us as their visualization layer on top of that. In some previous Vegan TV, I remember that was me and my colleague from the NetX, Suvankar, and we more deeply explaining how works our cooperation. And if you are wondering, you can go back to this material and see it again.
I'll add that show about Matterport plus SimLab Simon plus NetX automation is available at wgan.info/SimLab on WGAN.
Okay, thank you, Dan. And what next? We are choosing the Nice Smart Home and going next, and then I'm going to the Fibaro ID cloud. And here you need to log into the Fibaro in this particular example to the Fibaro cloud. This is very similar, like in the SmartThings, in the KNX, IoTech with Schneider Electric, and with the NetX. It's very similar. You need to log in, and then there is some credentials like the email address and also the password, and going next, and then I will get the authorization to the Fibaro cloud. That takes a little bit time. You need to be patient because we are right now sending the code and receiving the information from the Fibaro cloud. And I have in this account more than one central, because the central is the main hub for the IoT we have connected to that. And I need to choose one. we are in the SimLab office, and I will choose the SimLab office and going next. Of course, you can choose more than one. If you have some 2, 3, 5 hubs into the space, you can choose more. But in this case, I will choose one and going next. And here I have the whole list of the rooms I have configured into my IoT provider. And I will select all rooms because I would like to have it all. And going next, here I have the place where I need to paste the link to the Matterport. For that, I need to go to my Matterport, login, find my space. For example, Office, because it's SimLab Office. Okay, this one. And I have share listed, copying the link, and then I need to put the link here. Yeah? And then we have the preview of the scan. I can check it if it's okay or not. Right now we have some strange starting position, but it's not nothing bad because we are also making the starting position into our software. If you don't want to create your space in Matterport account as a public space or unlisted space, you can have also it into your private option. And then you need to log into the Matterport. And then in the iframe menu here, that will be possibility after logging to choose your private space and also add it as a background. That means that you can have the password protected, you have all privacy also provided by our software. You don't need it to put it outside somewhere like as a link. And then going next, we have some small summary, like the space name, the visualization method, how many rooms we have created, and if it's everything good, I'm clicking the confirmation button, and then the space is creating. And that can be some problems because it's normal. The problem is that the temporal device, something is incorrect room data because there is some default room, but it's only one device. It's nothing to worry about. And after confirming, we have going into our space. And first of all, we need to go somewhere inside the space. And for example, I will go here. And first thing we need to do, as you see, all colors are gray. Yeah, because of that, that we don't have assigned the rooms which we imported from the IoT provider to the swipes. Yeah, the system don't know that you are right now in some corridor on the right side. To make it done, to assign the swipes, you need to click this menu on the top, and here we have all rooms which was imported from the IoT provider. And this is, for example, the corridor right. And after clicking that, everything appears as the colors, and also automatically I have the devices into the right side. And we need to do it for the all swipes, but it's very fast and very easy to do it. I will not do all the swipes right now, but it's quite fast. There is also the option in the bottom menu that you can automatically jump from the one room to another. That means that you don't need to skip and go like a walkthrough from the one side of the space to another to be there. You can only one click and you are automatically transferring into that space. And okay. And then we need to make a little bit more. This one is already assigned. This one is not yet. This one, I will go to the office. I'm sitting here. And here we have also the corridor right. And I'm right now in the Mark's room. And I'm clicking the Mark's room. As you see, it's It's nothing difficult, I hope. It's everything clear during now?
Totally with
done?
you. Yep. Totally with you.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay. Then we have the mark room and mark room. Okay. For now, I will skip it the rest of the rooms. And what we have here? Here we have the devices that I have on the right side. Okay. And then we have something like 37 Z-Wave node. Because of that, that is the name that is prepared into the IoT provider. From the IoT provider, the names are set up by some installer. Our installer name it like that. It's not so good naming, but it's nothing wrong. I can click it and I can go to some device manager. And here I have the different name, like the colorful lamp. And I can, for example, from here, also editing the all devices, like changing the name, changing the icon, or also upload my own photo of the device, yeah, if I want. For now, I will, for example, this one I will close and I will show this one into the dashboard because it's better name. And after I'm saving the changes, I have here now the colorful lamp, yeah. And what next I need to do? I need to put it into the space somewhere. It's also very easy because for that I need only to click it, click this plus button here, another one, and another one, and put it into the, for example, wall. Yeah, because here is the colorful lamp. It's the lamp here, as you see. And after I close it, I have the 3D location of the device. It takes me 5 seconds. And starting right now, I can controlling the lamp. As you, I hope, see in the camera, the lamp is off. Now the lamp is on and it's working. The same situation with some lights on the top, but that one is the computer plug. Okay, the computer plug I will not turning off because my computer will die and the show will end. But for example, I will need to search the aquarium lamps. It's the same thing and the same situation. And also I will try to find the lamps on the ceiling. Here is the aquarium lamp. Okay. And the rest of that, it's very similar, like the computer plug. I can plus somewhere here, yeah. And the lamps I have here, like the conference room, but it's not working, unfortunately. Okay. Then we have here some button for the controlling. I will also put it somewhere here because it's on the desk. The aquarium. And that's it. We have the devices already set it up into the space. And this is one thing. The second one is, for example, the assets. If we want to add the assets, we need to make the same exercise. That means I have prepared the assets for the printer, and I will put the asset to the printer. That is the box 3, as I remember. And here we have the possibility to add the asset to the printer. For that, I need to change the layer to the assets and click the plus asset button. And here we have the model that we can fulfill with the information about the asset. For example, the asset name, I have all prepared somewhere inside. That will be faster to to fulfill. Give me a second, I need to find it. Description, okay. It's the Konica Minolta base hub. After adding that, I can edit it. And then we have some text as a description on that. I can copy paste that. I can add some photographs on top of that. I need to find it. Okay, here I can drag and drop it. I don't know if you are seeing my file explorer, but if not, there is I'm putting into the drag and drop into the asset. Then we have some place where we can put the URLs for the for example, some YouTube movies or Vimeo movies, like the Vegan TV movies as well. That will work. And I have also some YouTube links here prepared. This one. And after that adding button, I have the movie already added. This is some tutorial from the Konica Minolta, how to use this printer. It's very, very useful for the new employees in the company, because if somebody new is coming to the company, okay, there you have the asset, you can go inside, check the all information, check the movies, and you will know how works our printer, yeah? And it's not taking the time from the other employees. A very similar situation with the documents. I can put some data sheet on top of that, some service agreements, some spare parts ordering as a documents in the doc, XLS, PDF, PPTX, or whatever, which kind of the formats. And then we have also the events, because the events is very important also for the maintenance reason. We can put the description, for example, some periodic maintenance, and I need to put the date, starting dates maybe for today, and record every week. And adding this event, I have this event into the our asset. And the last thing is to adding the pointer, very similar like in the devices. I can put it somewhere here, and I can I put that cancel, sorry, but right now we have the whole asset already set it up. Then you can need to put the save. I put wrongly the cancel option. And it's very similar for some other assets. I can try maybe do one more, like the air conditioning unit we have here. It's the same. The name of the asset. Give me a second. It's the name of that. With some model, adding, editing, and adding some more information. I hope you are not boring yet.
Totally with you.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to the here. Very similar, like with the some photographs, some movies, and some other stuff. I will put maybe only some files like that, some schematics, some warranty. Okay, some information, cleaning, or for example, tomorrow, and also every week or every month, maybe. Save. Okay, and then we have also need to add the pointer on that. And right now we have the two asset already set it up here into our software. And after we put the events here, we have also the events here into our event time and calendar in the today's and the future ones. But if something is wrong and something is broke, or you want to report some issue as a user to some facility manager or some maintenance guy, you can also create a ticket. And for creating the ticket is very similar like in creating the asset. Sorry. It's only one click also, and need to put the ticket name, like the leaking. You see, and the status, the start date, the due date, sorry. For example, I would like to be done till tomorrow because it's very important to fix it very fast.
This episode of WGAN TV is sponsored by SimLab Simon. Are you optimizing your IoT control and facility management? With SimLab Simon, powered by Matterport, you can centralize data, enhance visualization, and monitor systems in real time. Plus, improve source management, reduce costs, and streamline workflows, all while ensuring safety and compliance. And you can seamlessly integrate and scale across platforms, enabling smarter decision-making and enhanced collaboration. Manage facilities with SimLab Simon. Visit www.sim-on.com.
And here we have the possibility to add the stakeholders. Right now, there is only one user into the space. That means that I don't have any possibility to add another stakeholder, but I will also add another user, and we will see it. And some description I see is making, please hurry up. Yeah, and then some photographs, which we can add it into the space. I have some prepared also the photographs, the pointer. Okay, and I can save it, and we have the ticket. In this moment, the person who is responsible for the maintenance, the stakeholders, I put it there, will receive the email with the information. Hello, there is something wrong in my space. And after clicking on the link in the mail, they are automatically connected into the ticket, which is very important also because the ticket and the issue is related to our geometry and the location into the space. That means that if the technical guy will come and normally it's only information, hello, I have the problem with air conditioning, and the servicing guy is coming into the space, and okay, but which one? Yeah, because we have right here we have one, here is second, third, fourth, and so on, and he need to go one by one and check it and wasting his time. In that case, when we have the location, he knows exactly, okay, this is this one, and using the Matterport tools, I need to sign this one as well. Using the Matterport tools, he can, for example, take the measurement mode and check where is so my computer is too slow. Check what is the height of the, for example, air conditioning. Okay, it's 2.5 meters, and he knows that he need to take the ladder with him, and also he see that below of the air conditioning there is some computer, some desk. Maybe they need to put another ticket to the IT department that they need to disconnect the computers and make the space to some repairs, and everything is very easy, and everything is related, this one, to saving the time, and time is the money, and also saving the money. Okay, what we have else, because right now we have the space, but I'm alone in the space, and I'm a little bit sad. I'm only me in the space, and I have no users with me. I can go to the space settings and, for example, create the role and the permissions to another people's to come inside and collaborate into the one space with me. For that, I need first go to the role templates, and I need to create a new role, because For example, the role will be done. After confirming, I have the possibility to add the permissions to this particular role. For example, for you, that will be some viewing providers, some importing devices, creating scenes, view activity log, creating tickets, and managing interior editor, which I will show you on the last part of the training. And then we have the very similar possibility to each particular room. For example, I don't want you to make, or my kid or somebody make access to one particular room. I can block it, for example. And the same for the devices. I can create the view only, or the view and controlling for all devices I have in my space. For example, I will give you the permissions, the control of that. If you have opened the Simon, that will be appearing shortly when I create the new role and the new user, that you will see this apartment. The same with the assets, where we have the assets here. We have the create assets, the scenes. The scenes is I will show you how those things will work, and for the tickets. Yeah, for example, not editing but commenting, all of that. Okay, and after saving it, I have the role done, and I need to add the users as well. To add the user, you need to have the email address that was used to create the account into the Simon right now, but in some very short period of time, that will be also invitation option, that if you don't have the account into our software, that you can send the invitation from our software to the person, and the person will receive the link to create the account, and so on. And if you have the email address, you can add the new user, put the email address, and also add the role to this person. Yeah, and after that, it's add, and right now you have access to the apartment, which I created right now. And also, I can go back to the 3D walk, and for example, I can go to the ticket I created, and I can put you as a stakeholder to the ticket. Which one? Oh, here. I can add you to the ticket I created, and now you have also possibility to comment and to communicate with me using the ticket. I done, and I hope you will see it soon into your account. And here we have possibility to add some more than one role, and also add more than one role into the one account, and so on. It's very easy. What we have also, we have activity log. That means that we have here all events that was done into our space. As you see here, the device colorful lamp has been changed. This was this lamp I turned it on and off, and also I access granted the access for you to manage my space. In the rooms option, you have possibility to editing the room, to changing the name, for example, and also to adding to some colors, because you can then, if you have the colors, you can navigate using the colors into your space. That colors will be visible into the bottom here, the bottom place here. So you have for example, vestibule, like the red, and you can assign the colors to all the rooms if you want. Into the dashboard, we have all devices we have connected, and from here we can also very easily skip to the place where it installed. And for example, from the dashboard, I can click the pin icon into the colorful lamp, and I'm going exactly to the place where the colorful lamp is connected. Okay, Here it is, yeah. And also in dashboard, we have the assets and we have the scenes. And the scene is the very simplified creator of automation into our space. I can create a new scene, for example, and I will enter the name, colorful lamp off, for example, and I can select the trigger, some time trigger that every day, starting today, at, for example, 8 p.m. At 8 p.m. The device, which I, for example, so colorful lamp, the device will turn off. And after I save it here, every day at 8 p.m. the colorful lamp will automatically turning off, because we are out of office and so it's not possible to or not needed to be all the night blinking and wasting the energy. I can also create some other scenes with some more than one device, for example, the all light we have in our office that will be automatically turning off and whatever. And then we have also some information in the side panel. We have the dashboard and we have also the providers. In the providers, we have all connections we have connected with our IoT devices. Here we have the SimLab Office. I can from here log it out. I can remove this this provider if I don't want it use it anymore. I can importing the new devices. If right now I don't have anything because all devices import during the creating apartment, but that can be some possibility that after you create the apartment, you add some another IoT devices and you can from here import it into the our space, and also the whole list of devices you have connected with some status. As you see here, some is disconnected because some of those are battery powered and the battery is gone. That means that also the connection is gone. The space settings I already mentioned, because there is the general and for rooms users, role templates and activity log. But the very cool function is the interior editor. The interior editor allows the user to add the models, 3D models from our library right now, but in the future from the library of the user into the space. For example, I would like to put on the desk the toaster. I can download it and put it the toaster into the desk. Yeah, for example, it's so funny case, yeah. And we have right now the toaster. I can put, for example, to the office, I don't know, the washing machine, as well as the toaster. Okay, I'll put it here. I can, for example, we have the washing machine. It's very nice feature if you would like to furniture our space. Right now, Matterport released it in beta version, the new feature as the furnish feature. That means that in the Matterport scan, you can remove all the furnitures, and this is great option into our space that we can, from the defurnishing space, we can add our models and refurnish the space as the user wants, and then, for example, buy it from some IKEA or some other furniture seller and make some new space for the customer. We have a little bit models like some cars, even some photovoltaic panels that you can put it into your roof, and some decorations that can be also put it somewhere into the wall as well. Some below the SimLab logo, some
Michael,
nice picture and so on. Yes?
Michael, on the interior editor, you mentioned that a feature that's coming is the ability to use perhaps a client's library of assets. Do you have a timing on that?
That will be possible, I hope, in this year. But
In-
I don't have any exact term where it will be
Okay,
possible.
you're
Yeah.
planning on by end of 2024.
Yes, exactly.
Fingers and toes crossed. Would this also be to enable third-party libraries, for example, forgive me, you mentioned IKEA. So for example, if you wanted to add the IKEA library.
If the IKEA will be interested, please contact me if the IKEA right now is listen, and we can do the connection between our software and some external library to import the models into our world. Yes, that is the plan to make this possibility to the customer.
And I imagine that invitation applies to really any third-party library. If you could take it off screen share at the moment, I think that'd be great. So
Okay.
that would be to any third-party library that would like to integrate into Matterport plus SimLab Simon.
Exactly.
And I think that's probably super timely. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Just yesterday, on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, Matterport announced the furnishing tool to essentially, with the click of one button, remove all the furniture from an entire space.
Exactly, we tested and it's working pretty nice in the beta version. I think in the release public version that will be even better. But it's great that we have some possibility to add the furnitures. They give us possibility to remove the furnitures, and I think it's the very nice supplementing each other in this area.
I think just I think the only questions I had was related to roles. I don't think you need to go into the demo, but just maybe talk me through this is two questions. On the roles, is there a way to set up a default role so that when you're assigning Dan, you wouldn't need to click through all the different items to of what I can and can't see, because I just fit into I have a certain persona, and Dan, Sue, Sally, Janie, Jimmy are all going to have that same role.
Yeah, it's possible because you can, for example, you can make in some office spaces, you can create some 3 or 4 roles only for the couple of 100 people, because one role that will be general manager, that he can do anything, everything in the space. Some other managers that can a little bit less, and the normal employee that can only view and controlling some of the IoT devices, not editing the asset, only viewing. And you are creating these 4 roles, and you can add the one role to more than one person into the
Okay,
space.
so that's where I think where I was a little bit confused, because in that particular case, Dan, me, was both the role and the person assigned to it. But
Yes.
the role might have been, let's say, administration. I don't know if that's
For
the great.
example, yeah, for example, an administration role can be added to Yudan, to, for example, our colleague Robert, and for example, for somebody else, the same role. And it works in the different way as well, that you can have the more than one role. For example, if I will create, because we are giving the user the flexibility with the roles, very flexibility, and without any limitations. For example, some of our customers making the role for the particular rooms, for example, because that will be the role editing Mark room, where I'm sitting right now here, and for example, the same role for editing conference room. And for you, I can add 2 roles for Mark room and conference room. That means you will get the access into this room and another room, yeah, but not for the room on the left. And yeah.
in a large organization that may have multiple buildings across many states, I could be have roles that are different depending on what the building is.
Yeah,
I could
exactly.
have different roles depending on what company has invited me. So maybe I'm a vendor to SimLab. I may also be a vendor to another company that's also using the SimLab Simon platform. My roles would be completely different and assigned by my clients in that example.
Exactly. You have 100% right.
Okay, so you can set up a free account at sim-on.com. You can also go, that's for the SimLabs Simon microsite. You could also go to you had mentioned SimLab Stages earlier, so you could go to sim-stages.com to see the SimLab Stages microsite, and then the parent company website, SimLab Inc., simlabinc.com. And you did mention a couple previous shows regarding Matterport plus SimLab Simon plus NetX Automation, and another WGAN TV Live at 5 show that we did specifically on the onboarding process for SimLab Stages. All those shows can be viewed at wgan.info/SimLab on WGAN. Michael, before we say bye, is there anything else that we didn't cover in terms of an onboarding training experience?
I think I cover all, but if there will be any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me and to contact our company, and we will be happy to give you the all information and answer all questions that you will have.
So if you go to sim-on.com, there is a page to contact, and then you can specify in that contact form of whether you have an onboarding question or whether you need to talk to SimLab Simon sales. Any type of question can come in through that contact us page at sim-on.com. Look for the contact tab. I thought the demo was thorough. I feel like I could immediately get started with SimLab Simon. So unless you have anything else, I thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you very much, all of you. And I hope we will see together again in some short period of time.
Yes, thank you. We've been visiting with SimLab Simon product owner and project manager, Michael Chopa. For Michael in Poland, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum in the US. And you've been watching WGAN TV live at 5.
This episode of WGAN TV is sponsored by SimLab Simon. Are you optimizing your IoT control and facility management? With SimLab Simon, powered by Matterport, you can centralize data, enhance visualization, and monitor systems in real time. Plus, improve source management, reduce costs, and streamline workflows, all while ensuring safety and compliance. And you can seamlessly integrate and scale across platforms, enabling smarter decision-making and enhanced collaboration. Manage facilities with SimLab Simon. Visit www.sim-on.com